we try to go for it right away. And we just came up a little short. We still got to put work in and continue to keep going. We're trying to win a championship, man. That's the goal. Just continue to build us individually, continue to get better, us as a unit, continue to get to know each other, find out what works, what doesn't work, and things like that.
A big what's up to everybody. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will be breaking down every single offseason move by your Philadelphia 76ers up to this point as they prepare to chase the Larry O'Brien Trophy this upcoming 2022-2023 NBA basketball season. If you have been rocking with the channel for a minute, you'll know that this video is the third iteration of its kind, meaning that this will be my third full season covering the Sixers, which is wild when thinking about it. And actually even more wild knowing that the Sixers are still in the same exact position as when I first started making YouTube videos. Anyway, sub a brother up for more unique Sixers content because you know what we do here. We got a lot of ground to cover, so without further ado, let's get to the video. So off the bat, I would be extremely disrespectful if I did not begin with one Mr. James the Beard Harden, as Bull is the catalyst of why all these moves occurred. On Friday, it was reported by Shams Charania of The Athletic that the six-time All-NBA first-team selection had signed a deal with the Sixers, taking a $15 million yearly pay cut to help the team with cap roster flexibility, which the team indeed took advantage of, but we'll get into that later. We all need to give a huge round of applause to the Beard because he kept his word and said that not only was he committed to the squad, but was willing to do everything in his power to make us a championship conglomerate.
So to be clear, you plan on still opting in?
I'll be here. Yeah, I'll be here. Whatever allows this team to continue to grow and get better and do the things necessary to win and compete at the highest level.
Team chemistry plus 1,000. The actual numbers haven't come out yet, but he basically took a 1-and-1, which is what LeBron does, essentially a 2-year contract and a player option within the middle, just to see where both sides are at after the first year. Harden definitely knows that these next 2 years are probably his best chances of getting a ring, so he took one for the team. If his Instagram workouts are to be believed, I expect him to come back hell-bent on proving the doubters wrong and getting closer to the old James Harden that we know and love. His redevelopment of his mid-range game is honestly going to be what puts the Sixers over the top. With all the talent around him on this roster, if he's able to command the floor as a point and have that midi joint in his repertoire, will be golden. Alright, so with that out of the way, getting down to the nitty-gritty, the Sixers finally upgraded their roster, their bench specifically, with high-energy, mentally tough players, which has been their Achilles heel for as long as I can remember. As a fan who has watched this team religiously since 2012, I have G14 classification to say that the squad was kitty cat. Actually, nah, I'll go even further. The identity of this team for seasons upon seasons was scary meow boys, kitty cat meow boys. Let me know if this sounds familiar. Countless blown leads, playing down the competition, crybabies, not consistently showing up in big games, the Nets join, and the list can go on and on. It was simply just a bad joint. With the flick of a wrist and a few calls around the league, Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, and company were in theory, able to fix these problems, but also add role players who fill up our biggest on-court weaknesses. Who are these players, you may ask? I got you. They are as follows. On draft night, the Sixers acquired guard Melton from the Memphis Grizzlies in exchange for 3 rings, Mr. Danny Green. Now, before we continue on who Melton is, I have to give a big thank you to Mans being an integral part of our squad the last 2 years. I was a major fan during his time in Philadelphia and wish you nothing but the best, bro. But yeah, in regards to Melton, again, he is a 6'2", defensive-minded point guard going into his 5th year in the league. What does he bring to the table? Defense, which is a up-in-your-face style. You're going to feel him in front of your face. Pause. Some ball handling. Nothing too shabby, but he is able to hold it down when called upon. Athleticism, something we need for energy with the squad as a whole. Rebounding, something we need in general. And shooting, able to catch and shoot threes. Last year, he averaged just under 11 points, 2.7 assists, 4.5 boards, while shooting 37% from 3 in 23 minutes of game playing time. Long story short, this Bull knows his role and plays it to the utmost extent on both ends of the court, so much so that he was donned the nickname Mr. Do Everything by his former teammates due to his impact on winning. He does the small things, the small stuff so well. I'm delighted from the fact that he's coming from the Grizzlies as well, who have a, come up dog winning mentality culture that he'll hopefully bring here. From my research, he seems very loyal to the soil, which can only help the squad succeed chemistry-wise. I'm excited to see him play next to Melton, undoubtedly bolstering bench play, but don't be surprised if he gets some minutes with the starters in some lineups, playing the Maxey role, or playing where Maxey would be. The combination of Melton's attitude, intangibles, and new greater responsibility bodes well for his tenure in Philadelphia. Next, we have the signing of the offseason, in my humble opinion, PJ Tucker, forward, who agreed to a $33.3 million deal for 3 years with the Sixers. Player option on the 3rd year, if y'all really want to know. I'm sure y'all do. Now, a lot of Sixer fans didn't like this signing, as Mr. Tucker is 37 years old, and as a result, they have a lot of trepidation of how well his body will hold up throughout the duration of his contract. And logically, I'm definitely with you guys, and I do get it. I actually really do. But what the hell are we supposed to do, fam? Like, he has chemistry with Harden, and he was publicly called out by Joel Embiid, franchise, Cameroonian big man, the process, as a player he'd like to have on his squad. Besides, he's definitely still a good vet. So what does he bring to the table? Defense, corner 3-point shots, as well as leadership. Everything that this team needs. 2 weeks ago, I made a video talking about the rumors of him potentially coming to Philly. Let's see what I had to say back then. If the Sixers are seriously in this joint to win a championship within the next 2 or 3 seasons, which they should be, this move makes perfect sense, and not only do I love it, but would do it in a heartbeat. The 14-year vet PJ Tuck would bring a wealth of NBA experience, dog mentality, chemistry, and championship DNA to a squad such as the Sixers, who desperately need it, having already played with stars Giannis and Jimmy Butler, along with organizations who have winning cultures, winning a championship in the process. But if you really look at the stats, it makes sense why we would actually want him. Beyond his corner 3 being butter last season with the Miami Heat, he averaged his highest 3-point percentage for his career at 41.5%. Also averaged his 2nd highest assist total, as well as his highest field goal percentage since his rookie season, all while playing 28 minutes a night. Somehow, he was able to suit up for 71 games in total, even at his old age. The perfect solid 3-and-D player to fit our scheme. Don't get mad at me, but ideally, I would want him coming off the bench. Not sure if him and Toby will be a good fit next to each other, since number 12 needs to be at the 4, where Tucker typically plays. Maybe Coach Glenn, no, he still hasn't earned the nickname Doc back yet, can create a scheme where if he does start next to Toby, PJ can play offensively at the 3 and then switch his defensive assignments with Toby at the 4 to make it all work. Who really knows? Regardless, for a fact, I know that I want him doing very little movement within the offense during the regular season. Bull needs to stand in the corner and just wait, like legit plant himself in the corner. No injuries before the playoffs. And the final major move by the team was signing Danuel House, who was a forward, to the team for 2 seasons for I think it was $8.9 million. His stats are all over the place, so it really doesn't matter in my opinion. But what does he bring to the table? A 3-and-D player who can get hot from 3 at any time. A big energy bull who gives the occasional slamma-jamma dunk that can get the Wells Fargo Center rocking. On Instagram, I found this meme by Benny Danklin, basically describing the cycle of Danuel House. And I think it suits this team perfectly. Obviously, he's mainly here because of chemistry with Harden and PJ, so I don't see an issue. Continuity wins in this league. Plus, we definitely need more wings anyway. A good jaunt overall. So what are my thoughts overall on all the moving and shaking within the Sixers organization? Well, roster. Obviously, Morey is assembling the 2017 Rockets on Broad and Patterson, and I ain't even mad at him for that. Those Rockets teams were flames and always a contender, almost actually winning a chip if Chris Paul didn't get hurt. Morey is optimizing the roster around Harden and Embiid, picking up 3-and-D players, which makes sense. I still believe that we need another perimeter player, whether that's another guard or a wing, preferably a wing, an athletic, springy wing, but time will tell. But yeah, the Sixers are officially in championship mode and actually going for the DAG thing, the whole kit and caboodle, which is something that us fans who have been through this BS the last, 10 years are owed. a real shot at a chip. Now, to be fair, this may be the beginning of the end of this era of Sixers basketball, but F it, to be honest. We aren't going down without a fight, which is what you ultimately want as a fan. No guarantees, of course, because the East is definitely looking very scary. But with a full off season of chemistry, we're in contention, and that's all that matters. I want to thank everybody for pulling up and listening to A Brother Think. Like, comment, share, subscribe with a Sixers fiend if you feel so inclined. Championship or bust, with a few potential moves still on the way. As always, them Bulls are mad because the process worked to some extent. My name is Cain, and I will see you next time. Peace.